Are you guys also seeing everyone's 2023 recaps where people are saying they had the best year of their lives and thinking, oh my god, have we lived the same 2023? I am literally on the decline. What the f? Because girl, same. But don't worry, today we are going to get our lives together and prep to have the best 2024. Guys, I have no idea how, but it is going to be 2024 basically tomorrow. I am honestly low-key in denial. But even if I'm mentally still in June, the new year is going to happen. We are going to go into 2024. So today, I want to set myself up to have the best year I can. As Queen Taylor Swift said, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I do not want to fail. So today, I'm getting my life together for 2024. And I'm going to show you how you can too. Don't worry, I got your back. So first up, let's start with reflecting on 2023. This might sound lame and maybe you don't want to remember parts. I know I would love to suppress and forget parts of 2023, but doing this is going to help us determine what areas we thrived in and what areas we would like to improve. Now, I am a digital girly to my core, so I'm doing this on my MacBook, but you can do this in a journal, on a piece of paper, whatever works for you. If you thought I wasn't going to overshare and show you my reflection, you have come to the wrong channel. Here are the areas I've identified that I would like to change in 2024. I really feel like these are holding me back from achieving my goals and just being the best version of myself. I'm so glad I did this because now if I get stuck on setting a particular goal, or even when I'm putting in place routines and practices, I can come back to this and refer to where my downfall areas are and just actively plan to avoid these. So since lack of consistent structure, routine, and burning myself out are my top 3, please let me know if you can relate. I cannot be alone on this. Basically everything that I'm going to be doing today to get my life together is going to be centered around structure and routine, and importantly finding out a way to balance this so I'm not either 100% on my game slaying the day or 100% having a mental breakdown. So the first routine that I want to put in place is journaling and meditating. Now I am a big fan of the 5-minute journal. I highly recommend it. I love that the prompts are there. It's just so easy to fill out, but I have a journal routine that I swear by and used to do before I had this, so let's run through this together now so that if you don't have the 5-minute journal, you can just do this instead. Now all you need is a blank journal and some pens. This one was $5 from Kmart. I'll link it below if they still have it. Now every day you'll open the journal to a blank spread like this, because on the left hand side of the page this is going to be where you journal in the morning, and on the right hand side of the page this is going to be where you journal at night. So for the morning journal, first you write the date and that it's the morning at the top of the page. Then you start by writing down a bunch of things that you're grateful for. I honestly write whatever comes into my head, even if it sounds silly or obvious, and I aim for around 5 or 6 things. My favorite thing about writing down what I'm grateful for is that it has an immediate effect on my brain. As soon as I start writing things down, I truly go into a state of gratitude. It's like I gaslight my brain into being grateful and positive. I don't think gaslight was the best word there, but you know what I mean. So if you're in a slump right now and you're like, what am I doing? I'm so stressed out. Like, what the f is going on? Start by writing down some things that you're grateful for. I know it sounds corny. I know it sounds cheesy. You've heard it from every single person ever, but it really works. So next you write down 3 things that you're going to do that day. I write down my top 3 things that I need to get done. I find this so helpful because if I start to get overwhelmed throughout the day or just forget what I need to do, I can go back and focus on just these top 3 things. And then lastly, I write down all the affirmations that can fit the journal's page. If you're new to affirmations and are like, what the f do I write here? I have absolutely no idea. Here are a bunch that I use for inspo. So for the nighttime journal routine, at the top of the page, you're going to write down that it's night, and then you're going to write down what went well today. I usually aim for around 3 to 5 things that went well. Even if they're small, even if you think it might sound silly, write it down. Then I write down areas to improve, and I aim for about 3 things that I could have done better in my day. Just things that I feel like if I had have done, it would have improved the day. And then lastly, same as the morning routine, I write down a bunch of affirmations, as many that will fit the page. Sometimes I'll do the same ones that I did in the morning. Other times I just write whatever comes to my head. But you can use those same ones that I showed you for the morning one for your inspo for the night if you need them. So that is my journal routine. I did this for years before I moved on to the 5-minute journal. So I definitely recommend this. I feel like this is basically just this, but you're writing out the prompts yourself. So if you're new to journaling or you can't afford this, this, which is totally fair. I feel like this was like $30 or $40. I highly recommend trying out this routine. But let's move on to meditating. If there's one thing I am passionate about, it is doing meditations laying down. I have to be comfortable during my meditation. If I'm sitting up, I'm uncomfortable, my back's hurting, I feel like I can't get in the zone. Maybe I'm just 28 going on 65, but I know what works for me, and that is laying down. So I'm gonna do my meditation today on the couch. Whenever I meditate, I use this 5-minute one I found on YouTube a few years ago. I can't tell if I look relaxed or just low-key dead. If you struggle getting into meditating and find it hard to concentrate and get into the zone, this is perfect for you. It's a guided visualization meditation that basically gets you to envision your dream life. It asks you things like, where would you like to live? What does your dream wardrobe look like? So it's giving you something to focus on rather than having you sit there being like, how am I meant to clear my mind? I honestly feel like a brand new bitch after that meditation. Every time I do that specific meditation, I've been doing that one for years. I feel so inspired because she really gets you to envision your future, but not in a way that's scary or overwhelming, in a way that gets you inspired and motivated to go about your day showing up as your best self, which is honestly the goal. So I 10 out of 10 recommend. I'll link it below for you guys. Now, in terms of structure and routine for this, I honestly loved doing it on the couch, and I realized while I was doing it that I sleep with my phone on the couch out here because I don't like to have it in my bedroom. Definitely a habit you should give a go in 2024 if you're not already doing that. It changed my life. Anyway, when my alarm goes off in the morning, I can come out here, turn it off, lay back down, which is amazing because that's what I always want to do when I turn my alarm off. I always want to lay back down, and then I can do my 5-minute meditation because I tried doing it in the mornings in bed this year, and I had this really bad habit of just not getting up afterwards. So I think the couch seems like a better idea for me. Oh my gosh, and then after meditating, I could fill out my 5-minute journal on the couch. Wait, this actually works out perfectly because then at night, I can do my 5-minute journal on the couch, do my meditation, plug my phone in, leave it here overnight, and then in the morning when my alarm goes off, come out, do my meditation, do my journal, and then go about my day. So I'll just leave my journal out here. Oh my gosh, I feel like this is the perfect routine for me and something that I will actually follow through with. Okay, I really want to move into writing down these routines, doing some planning, some goal setting, but my apartment, especially my office, is so messy right now. Look at this. My whole tripod fell before and caused this to happen. Okay, maybe it's not entirely the tripod's fault, it's also mine, but it's a bit of a mess in here. Things need to be put away, areas need to be wiped down. So let's move into cleaning my space first. I'm going to blast some music because if there's one thing I cannot do, it is a task without background music. I live by the quote, a cluttered space equals a cluttered mind. So if you're not sure where to start with getting your life together, you should clean and organize your space. It's going to make you feel refreshed and honestly bring a good vibe and energy to your area, which in return is going to not only make you feel better, but be more productive. I recently did a massive decluttering and organizing video that I'll link below for you. So today I'm mostly just focusing on cleaning, wiping down spaces, and tidying up rather than decluttering. But I highly recommend taking some time to clean and organize your space. You don't even have to do the whole thing. I know that can feel so overwhelming sometimes. Even just tackling one area like organizing your desk or cleaning out your wardrobe can really help. So in terms of structure and routine for cleaning that I'm going to put in place for 2024, every single night I will quickly tidy my office and apartment. That includes putting clothes away, straightening up my desk, all that kind of stuff. Then once a week I'll do a full deep clean where I wipe down surfaces, I vacuum, I tackle all the laundry, and once a week I want to be cleaning my washing machine and dishwasher as well. I also want to ensure that my MacBook and phone aren't cluttered as well. I feel like a lot of the time we focus on our physical areas like our offices or our desks or our wardrobes, but we don't focus on our phone and our electronic, which is funny because we're on them so often. And just like a cluttered office or bedroom can make your mind feel cluttered, a cluttered phone, a cluttered MacBook can make your mind feel cluttered as well. So I'm going to ensure that my emails are replied to daily, my tax document is filled in once a week, my receipts are filed once a week, week. And my MacBook is organized daily, so my desktop isn't a mess with files everywhere. I did this on and off throughout 2023. You guys saw my reflection. You know I dropped the ball every now and then. But in 2024, I really want to be doing this stuff consistently because it helps so much. Okay guys, now that my apartment is clean and I've just finished tidying up my MacBook, I feel like this is a perfect time to get some of those routines that we were talking about down on paper, or like electronic paper, and also do some planning, some goal setting, just setting in place ways that we can become our best selves next year and actually get there. So let's start with goal setting. Like I said, I am a digital girly to my core. I used to use my Apple Notes religiously. I was such an Apple Notes girly, but I'm slowly transitioning over to Notion. I've been wanting to do it for so long and I was like, it's time to make the plunge. 2024, I am going to be a Notion girly. But honestly, you can just use whatever works for you. Write it down on paper, write it in your Notion, Apple Notes, Google Doc. It really doesn't matter, but find somewhere to plan your life, to write down your goals. But the best place to start when goal setting is looking at areas you would like to improve in sections of your life. You can honestly get a lot of this from the yearly reflection that we did at the start, but these are the areas that I split my life into. I have work, physical, financial, mental, and hobbies. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down what I want to improve on or achieve in these sections of my life. I remember I used this example last year and it's a great one because I actually achieved this goal using this goal setting method. I'll share more in a second, but one of the things that you can see that I want to do under hobbies is read more. So my goal for 2024 could be to read 24 books. It is so important when you're setting your goals to ensure that they are attainable and realistic. I could make my goal for 2024 to read 50 books, but all that is going to do is make me overwhelmed, stressed out, and I'm not likely to strive to achieve that goal because honestly, it's unattainable for me. It feels impossible. I'm really just setting myself up for failure, but a more attainable goal for me is to read 24 books. Now, that doesn't mean I can only read 24 books, but I am more likely to be motivated and strive to achieve that goal because it's realistic, it's attainable. Now, once we have our yearly goals, we're going to set monthly goals for ourselves. Monthly goals are so important because they're there to keep you on track to achieve those yearly goals. So using that same example, my goal for 2024 is to read 24 books. So my monthly goal could be to read 2 books a month. And as you can see, if I follow that monthly goal, if I read 2 books a month, I'm going to achieve my yearly goal of reading 24. And once we have our monthly goals, we're going to go a step further and set weekly goals as well. Similar to how your monthly goals keep you on track to achieve your yearly goals, your weekly goals keep you on track to achieve your monthly goals. So if my monthly goal is to read 2 books, my weekly goal could be to read half a book, which is honestly perfect for me because I have a Kindle and it shows you the percentage when you're reading. Oh, it is so satisfying. So like I said before, I actually achieved my reading goal of 2023 using this goal setting method. My goal was to read 12 books, 1 a month, and I read a total of 15 books. I am so proud of myself. Definitely getting the Kindle helped, but also using this process and knowing that all I had to do was read 1 book a month made it feel so attainable, and I was motivated to achieve that goal. In fact, I did better than the goal. So I definitely recommend using this method. And in the name of oversharing, these are my 2024 yearly goals, and these are my monthly goals that I've set myself for January. All right, now that our goals are set, let's move into planning. I am an Apple Calendar girl. I plan literally my whole entire life in here. But like I said, I want to become a Notion girly. It's one of my goals for 2024. So this is what my Notion currently looks like. We'll get into it in a second, but let's start with the calendar because it's what I'm familiar with and what I'm going to use while I'm in the transition phase. I don't know if I'm going to end up using both together. I'll keep you guys updated on my Notion journey. So this is my Apple Calendar. This year I started with 2 calendars. I just had work and life, but now as you can see, I have about 7 calendars. And honestly, it's been a game changer for me. I love how these things all have their separate colors. I can easily see the difference between all of my jobs, whether it's personal, whether it's work related. So I highly recommend doing this, but if you're feeling overwhelmed, you can definitely just start with work and life. I did that last year, and while I can definitely say this is probably better, having it in work and life still works. To be honest with you, I've been pretty good at filling out my calendar a month in advance. That was one of my 2023 goals, so it's definitely something I want to carry into the new year. I've been planning appointments in advance, when I'm working, if I have any deadlines, and this has been so important for me because I work multiple jobs. If I don't plan this out, my life becomes a complete mess. But you know what, real talk, I haven't been super consistent throughout the year. I've been on it some months, off other months. We saw that in my yearly reflection. So I'm gonna update this calendar now for January. I already have a couple of dates in there, which is what's gonna happen. Sometimes things pop up, but I'm gonna fill out anything that's missing in this calendar right now. Oh my god, this is so satisfying. Overwhelming a little, but satisfying. Okay, now that the calendar is filled out, let's move over to Notion. I know I told you I'm still in the transition phase, but this is where I want to be planning my days in depth, or my work, and honestly just everything in my life. I want to use Notion to keep track of. So this is what my home page, if you call it, looks like right now. I've called it Basecamp, and this is really just an extension of what my Apple Notes used to look like. Everything that I do in here, apart from the habit tracker, which I will show you what I used last year in a second, is what I used to do in my Apple Notes. I really feel like if you're overwhelmed to start Notion, girl, I've been there, literally me for the last like 3 years. Just start with your Apple Notes, or using a calendar or a physical planner. Just use what works for you. But as you can see here, I have my content planner and freelance planner on the side. This is where I'm going to be planning my YouTube videos and keeping on track of any sponsorships or social media related work stuff. And the freelance planner, that is for my freelance editing business that I run. So keeping track of all of my client work and applying for clients, all of that kind of stuff. So I have that under work, and then to the right of that you can see I have a mini display of both planners on here. Then back to the left I have a lifestyle, so I have habit tracker and journal. Underneath that I have 2024 goal tracker. I have not figured out how to use this. Look at this. I have not figured out how to actually use this properly, so maybe I'll check back in with you in a month or so when I've got this figured out. For now my goals are just in my Apple Notes. Then I have a bookshelf where I keep track of my reading, important information where I just have important information. Below there I have a Pomodoro because I use that technique all the time. I have some music. I always listen to this jazz music when I want to get stuff done. Then to the right of that I have a monthly overview of a calendar. I wish this could be my Apple calendar. I haven't figured out if there's a way I could do that. And then to the right of that I have a clock because it's aesthetic. I have a to-do list for the day, and below that I have my weekly schedule. Also where the to-do list is, I have this page called Full Agenda. When I open that up, it's not filled out right now. Like I said, I'm in the process of setting all of this up, but this is where I'm going to have what I have to do for the full day. I'm going to have it broken into time blocks and all of that kind of stuff. But that is a brief overview of my Notion. One thing that I started using last year that I loved so much but I definitely fell off on using is a habit tracker. I highly recommend using one of these. This is the one that I had from last year that I used for about 2 months before I low-key gave up. But as you can see, you put your habits down here, you have the date across the top, and then every day when you do a habit you tick it. It tells you down the bottom the percentage of habits that you did that day, whether you did 25%, 50%, 100, you get the vibe. And then over on the side it gives you the month percentage breakdown as well. I love a habit tracker. I feel like it really motivates me to achieve my weekly goals, which then helps me achieve my monthly goals and my yearly goals, and also just really helps me show up as the best version of myself because it's something that holds me accountable. The only problem I had with this habit tracker is that I had it bookmarked on Chrome, but it was so easy for me to just not click on it and fill it out. I mean, I probably could have set a reminder in my phone, but I'm sure you guys know what I mean. So I'm really excited this year to have a habit tracker set up in Notion. This is the current one that I set up yesterday. I made this myself. I think I might be better off downloading a template. I'm not too sure. But as you can see, it has the date on the left hand side. Up the top, it has my habits that I want to do. So each day I can just go and check them off. I also made it so that it auto creates a new day every single day. And then on the far right side, I have a link to a daily journal so that if I'm away, if I'm overseas, or if I run out of my journal and haven't bought a new one, I can do a journal entry in here. So I'm really excited to try out Notion this year. I'm hoping I can keep you updated in the vlogs. But I will have the habit tracker that I tried to use last year linked below for you guys, because even though I didn't use it consistently, when I was using it consistently, I felt on my game. I felt like it really helped me stay on track. So I highly recommend. And in terms of structure and routine, to ensure that I'm setting monthly goals, because some months last year I may have slipped off and not done it, and I'm updating my Notion, I'm going to set exact days or times to fill this out. So for Notion, I think let's do every single night. When I'm logging off for the day, I want to update this with my to-do list for the next day. I'll obviously update my content and freelance planner as I go, but I think daily updates for the Notion and calendar where necessary. But then at the end of every month, I want to really go over my Notion, change what isn't working for me, implement new things if necessary. So I think I'm gonna go last day of the month, let's update the calendar, update Notion, set those monthly goals, just the ultimate monthly reset. And I'm going to add these dates to my calendar right now. Ideally, I would like to have some sort of page in Notion where I track all of that, but for now, we'll stick with the Apple Notes. Okay, now that we've set those routines, we've cleaned our space, set the goals, done the planning, let's make a vision board for 2024. I swear by vision boards, I love them so much. I've been making one since 2020 and I swear by these things. This was my vision board for 2023 and a lot of these things came true. I went to the Harry Styles concert, I got new tattoos, I went to this beach in Whitsundays, I retook this exact travel picture and honestly just traveled more overall. So I definitely recommend making a vision board for 2024. So your first step is to go onto Pinterest and create a Pinterest board titled 2024 Vision Board. Then you're going to go and find all the images you want and pin them to this board. If you're thinking, okay, but like what pictures do I pin? I have no idea. Try taking a look over the yearly goals that you've set and envision what you want your year to look like and pin pictures that reflect that. So for instance, my goal that I was talking about before is to read 24 books. So I'm going to ensure that there is a picture on my vision board that reflects reading. So for me, it's going to be this picture of a Kindle. Once you feel like you have got all of your pictures, go ahead and also save these to your desktop in a folder called 2024 Vision Board. Now I make my boards in Adobe InDesign. I have a Mac background and phone template, but you can also use PicMonkey or Canva. So once you've got your program up and you've got your template, drag all your photos in and play around with the pictures until they look like how you want them to look on your board. You might crop some, you might delete some, it's totally up to you. But once you're done making your board, you're happy with it, I highly recommend making this your desktop and phone background. Having this in a place you're going to see every single day and often is going to help you manifest the things that are on the board to come true. So this is my 2024 vision board. Comment below what you think I'm manifesting based off of this.